Hey there, guys. This is Ice 9, and these are our Ultimate Legends for the week for Madden Mobile. And we are finishing up. According to last year, it was sometime in mid July when they stopped doing Ultimate Legends. So we're getting around that point. We might only have a week or two, or may not have any for the rest of the year, but we're going to cover them. I'm going to try to cover things a little bit better. I know I skipped a week with Ultimate Legends and had to cover all four. Looks like GTs are truly done. From what I understand, they are gone. So what I'm going to do in this video, though, since the year's kind of wrapping up, I'm going to go through Ultimate Legends. I got Sproul, so I'm going to go over my team. And then I'm going to compare my team and how it is this year as opposed to last year. And it's kind of an interesting thing to compare. Right now, the two teams are identical, 105 overall. So we're going to break those two down and just kind of compare them. But first, let's do Ultimate Legends. And this week, another defensive end, Bruce Smith. Man, he was fantastic. He was an awesome player. Definitely deserves the cards. It's good to see that EA is licensed with some of these former great players to give us their likenesses in a video game. It is really cool. I mean, of course, there's some that are not on there. We'd like to see. The name I hear mentioned the most about that is Randy Moss. If only they had a Randy Moss card, right? It'd be awesome. But the number of players that we do have from the past, it is a pretty cool thing to play with a team with a bunch of former and present NFL greats for sure. So here's Bruce Smith. Here's the set-based version of the card. 90 speed at the defensive end positions, definitely respectable. 102 power moves. All the stats are really, really solid. 99 hit power, I assume that to be higher on the boss base version. To be honest, I've been at work all day. I haven't even checked out the bosses, but we're going to try to find them in the auction house. With the July 4th event, though, I don't see, and no Ultimate Legend packs. They did them early before the 4th of July event even went on. So my assumption is, and we'll have to see if that's true, is I don't know how many of those guys are out there, how many bosses or how many people are opening packs at this point. I just don't know how many people are. So, but really good card for the defensive end. I would consider picking him up. Watt is probably a little bit long in the tooth, even though he gives the tackle boost. I might have to stick with him for the end of the year, but Smith is definitely one of the guys I'd consider replacing him with. Although, kind of one of my things about this, I don't know what the finesse moves are on there, but 102 power moves, I assume, is going to trump the finesse moves. Whatever a defensive player is higher in is what they'll usually use. But I would like to have in a 4-3. In a 3-4, I think you want to have big, powerful, power move defensive ends. Guys like Watt and actually Deacon Jones would fit, even though in the game he was more of a defensive or more of a finesse defensive end. But, people like Watt and Clowney and, this guy right here, you want that for a 3-4. But in a 4-3, I would like to have one power guy and one finesse guy. And right now I got two power guys. So it'd be interesting to try a finesse guy. I think besides Curse, though, I don't know if there's any great defensive ends in the game that are still really, really good at this time that are finesse defensive ends. So anyways, that's the Bruce Smith card. And Sweetness gets himself an Ultimate Legend. Our very own Chicago Bears, Walter Payton. And, one of the things that is totally unrealistic about these cards is this 99 speed thing. Walter was not the fastest guy on the planet. He definitely wasn't. The strength is probably pretty accurate, though. At 92 strength, he was a phenomenal power back. He had great moves, too, though. So I don't know why they disrespect him with the 96 elusiveness. Even though that's a high 90s number, he was very elusive and very strong. But good looking card. 85 catch is kind of average. You know, it's not up there with TEAN or Falk or some of the other Tomlinson, some of the better halfbacks at catching the ball. And that's not very accurate either because Walter was a really good receiver. So, but that is the set based version of the card. And I don't know, I'd love to have Walter, but even though I'm a Bears fan, I'm actually more of a Barry Sanders fan, and I already got him, so I don't see myself picking him up. You can see Dwayne Harris, I pulled him in the live event. I've been doing the live event while I can, although I've been very busy at work. But let's check out Payton. And then we'll check out Bruce Smith. And then we'll go into the team thing that I mentioned. Alright, so set based all over the place. And wow, 10 million on the boss. And that's one of the things about this. Wow, that's a lot more set based than I would have thought would have been out there. You know, so there are still some people pulling packs. Or maybe they saved Ultimate Legend packs to get components to build Walter with and sell them. So that's not bad. Some green over Barry, a little faster. Definitely a lot stronger. Catch is a little better. Carries a little bit better. Elusiveness, I'm not sure how much that matters. But really, really good running back. Definitely something to consider. And this is my first look. Let's look at this boss. And see. Yeah, 101 speed on a Walter card. That's funny. 101 carry. 101 speed, 95 strength, 88 catch is pretty darn good. That's almost as good as GT Allen. That's a really good card. Catching's a little bit lower. Carry I thought was like 103. I know there was a bunch of 101, 102, and 103 stats in that Allen card, but that's definitely very respectable for sure for Chicago Bear fans. This would be a great card to get. Boost right up to 99 strength, no problem. With just Gronk in the lineup. So really, really good card. No weaknesses whatsoever. None. Really, really good card. But 10 million coins, it better be, right? Getting really late at this time of year to be asking that kind of coins for running back, but it is supply and demand. Alright, so let's go into Bruce Smith. And here we go. Set-based version in the low 1 million range. And let's check out the boss. Wow. It's a lot of coins. 103 power moves, 101 hit power. That is really good. 93 speed, 101 acceleration. Boy, these cards are getting really overpowered, aren't they? That's a great card. Man, 103 power moves. But the block shed's over 100 too. Really, really good card for sure. Both versions of that card are pretty good, as a matter of fact. So, let's go on to the next thing that I promised. So, here's my team now. There's Sproles in the lineup with the awesome boost. 99 speed, 99 strength, 99 acceleration. Just phenomenal. 99 juke move. Almost broke one with him in my league, the league drives yesterday. He was one juke away. He's really quick. He's quick. So it's a good card from gameplay point of view too. If you've got a guy who's going to be more of a threat back there, maybe get you a touchdown once in a while, that's not a bad thing either. But now I'm at a 105 defense. To do this, I had to put Gostkowski back in at kicker. And, since I'm going that route, he's going to kick it in the end zone. I might as well go for one of the two 99 kickers, which is probably what I'll go for. And I'll probably go for the other 4th of July punt returner, too, and replace Jones and just see if I can get 106. That will probably be all I can do for the year. And now let's look at the squads here. A lot of 99s on the offense and defense. Some boosters on the squad. Got Frederick in there. I don't think Mangold, I'd want to replace this guy with Mangold, because even though he's a true 99 as opposed to Frederick, who's a 98 and a game changer, that takes away from strength. But still, I like Frederick's blocking stats better than Mangold. So it's possible that I could replace this guy with Mangold, but I don't know. I'm not sure if that's really high up on my list of priorities to do before the end of the year. But pretty good looking card still. And you look at these stats, and what we're going to do, we're going to compare these by player. And this might be a long video, so I don't know how much of this I'll do. But let's go into the trophy room and see who I had at center last year. I had Mangold, final edition player. That was a pack-based system last year. And you can see the impact block on this card last year was higher than this 4th of July card is this year, with 92 impact block. But this was a solid card. Really, really good card. And you could say as an individual blocker, definitely faster, much better acceleration. 90 accelerations is pretty darn good. Pass block at 99 is obviously not bad. 93 run block, 97 impact block. So really, really good card. And then just to try to do this more quickly, let's compare guards. And we'll do this next, and then we'll go back to this year's team and just kind of compare. So Kyle Long, extremely fast, 84 speed, 97 acceleration. I don't think we've seen that out of any offensive lineman this year that I've seen. Strength isn't at 99, but 97 is not bad. 100 pass block, 98 run block, 99 impact block. So you can see here, and we don't know how the coding's changed or how things are working, but this appears to be a better blocker than just about anybody in the game right now. And then here, Larry Allen. And, what can you say? 100 run block, 100 impact block, 98 pass block. It's all extremely, extremely good. 90 acceleration. So, again, the acceleration is good. 76 is better than most guards in his version in this game, which I'll show you in a second. And 101 strength. So, this card I pulled in a pro pack last year. It was amazing. I mean, it was an 8 million coin card at that point, and I decided just to keep him. Never thought I was going to be able to get him. Might as well do the rest of the offensive line, right? So here's Deerdorf, Mobile Masters, which is the last year's version of Ultimate Legends again. And you see, once again, 90 acceleration, 98 pass block, 99 run block, 97 impact block. Really, really good numbers. And then another positional hero, like Long was, I didn't mention Joe Thomas. 79 speeds, really, really good. 90 acceleration. Once again, no boosters, too, for acceleration on this team. And 100 pass block, 96 run block, 95 impact block is pretty darn good. So from an individual point of view, those guys were better. Now let's check out our blockers here. So here's Schwartz, 69 speed, 79 acceleration. I don't think anybody on the guards and tackles on my old team had less than 90 acceleration. Numbers are decent: 99 pass block, 94 run block, 98 impact block, but slower. And Larry Allen, and this is just the set-based version, but one-on-one strength is equal but a lot slower, and acceleration was a lot worse. Uh, Blocking numbers are close. I believe the impact block on the other card was 100 though, but then again, this is not the boss card. Incognito. So here we go. On the other team, and that's one of the things that we'll go into, is that there were a lot of 99s on that team. I don't know if there was anybody but Barry Sanders at fullback, who I had in just because he's my favorite player, and I couldn't afford the Mobile Masters version at the end of the year. But I think besides Barry, I want to say that besides kick returner and punt returner, which they didn't have 99s last year, that there's nobody under 99 on that team, I want to say. But we'll check that out in a second and verify it. Here's Incognito, and run stats aren't bad. One of the 98 positional heroes, so not as good as the positional heroes were last year for sure. Acceleration, this is pretty fast as far as the guard position in this year's version of the game. Speed and acceleration, though, aren't as good as some of the players on the team last year. The blocking stats are almost as good, although he is 98. Here, Tyron Smith. And acceleration is the closest to the cards last year. Pretty good running stats. This is more in line with the positional heroes last year, and that was one of the last positional heroes. Now let's go on to wide receivers and tight ends. All right, so Mike Evans. And this year, so 99 speed, 90 strength, 102 acceleration, 103 catch, 103 jump, and he's 6'5", 94 trucking, 90 spin moves. So really, really good stats. The awareness is a little bit lower. That's the only weak point of the card. And we're going to talk about the boosters too. But Andre Johnson, who I've had basically since he came out, and he's been really, really good. Now with Sproles in the lineup, he boosts up to 99 speed, 92 strength, pretty decent 98 acceleration, although there's a lot of receivers that are better now, GTs and Ultimate Legends with better acceleration, which I think is important for a wide receiver. Really high trucking again. A card kind of like the Evans card. Catch and carry is not quite as good, and jump is not quite as good on the card though either. But that's been a really good card for me. And you really can't, if anything, this is the biggest accomplishment in this game this year, was getting OBJ and completing the sets and doing all the live events and playing all the season games and then doing the head-to-head and getting the 10 million fans. So the Mobile Masters player, I know there's actually some teams out there that are so good that they're not even playing this guy anymore. But it's probably the biggest accomplishment that you could get in this game this year, getting this guy. You look at him now, he's not a tall guy. He drops the football a lot when he gets cracked by a safety or a hard-hitting corner. Seems to drop it a lot, even by himself. So definitely not one of the better gameplay wide receivers in this league, but +5 catch, +5 awareness. There was nobody like this last year. And people realized, EA realized that the boosts were really attractive to people. So they just kind of went crazy with boosts this year. And this player is definitely the best representative of that. And then there's Jerry. When you compare him, Jerry Rice, who looks like he's going to sit on the bench until the end. And Jerry's stats, pale in comparison to a lot of wide receivers in the game right now, but he does have that awareness boost. And on to Gronk, and in terms of this, I got him really early on. I got him in October. I know some people had him earlier, but I finally spent $20 in stamina refills and just ground it out and just sat there until I got all the cards that I needed to get him at that time. And Gronk was, and I think continues to be, the best offensive player in the game. He's a big target, big, strong, and with the speed boosters, pretty fast. Um, you could say Boss Gonzalez is a better tight end, but this is more attainable for most people. And that +5 strength boost has definitely been phenomenal to get on a team. So, and he should be your mobile master next year, Gronk. So, did that by positions, and let's check what we had last year. And sorry, this is kind of a long video. You definitely don't have to watch, but I just wanted to cover this just to kind of show people the differences. So, I would say that definitely at the offensive line positions, last year was better than this year. The blocking was better, at least in the stats. Now, we know in gameplay that really varies. When we're talking about all Madden or Hall of Fame play with really high defenses, I know there are people who really do think that it makes no difference. You might as well put in a gold offensive line in there because it doesn't matter anyways, and lower your overall, have higher overall players at skilled positions, and just do it that way. My observation has been, though, playing league to league in pro settings, is that as my offensive line has gotten better this year, it has really made a difference. And the other day we played a league that had no really high defenses to play. There was no 103, 104, or 105 defense to take on. So I ended up playing a 101, and I just absolutely ran them over. I had 2 long runs using toss, 80-plus yard touchdown runs, and it just blasted everybody right out of the way. So it does make a difference, offensive line, I would say. It makes a big difference. But here at wide receiver, we can see, and Calvin was one of the really early mobile masters. So it's kind of like Des Bryant was this year, or actually Megatron this year as well. And when you look at this card, it's not the fastest or the strongest or had the highest jump. The catch was only a 99. You know, we got all these guys with 100 plus catch. But so this is a really solid card, but it's more like the Andre Johnson card, flashback card, is really what this card is. But I liked him well enough to run with him at wide receiver 1 all year. Sometimes cards play above their stats. And then positional heroes, Des Bryant. And this card, positional heroes were all 99s last year, but just like this year, they got better as time went on. Even though the overalls didn't go up, they still got better. And the same way that Ultimate Legends have gotten better this year too. So you look at this card, it's faster, stronger, better acceleration, 102 catch, 98 jump, pretty elusive, so really, really good card. I still liked Megatron better at wide receiver 1, but I was just fine with this guy at wide receiver 2. Then, this is kind of interesting. So last year, Jerry Rice had a legend, and then he had a mobile masters card. Same thing with Night Train Lane, and they were both 99, so it was really late on in the legend program, and it was kind of an odd thing. You got 2 99 cards for the same player, which is kind of silly. But this is the Legends version of the card, and just because I was a big Jerry Rice fan, I kept it on the team. He was pretty good in the slot, not the fastest, strongest, but he did catch it in traffic pretty well. True to Jerry Rice, which you'd expect out of him. Not real high jump, but a pretty good card, and I kept him in all year. And Gronk was a later release. I believe it was a May or a June Ultimate Legend release, so a pretty late one. And you can see the stats in comparison to Domination Gronkowski. They're pretty good. And keep in mind, there's not a lot of boosters on this team. Some of the other choices at tight end last year, later on, trying to think, they had a Ditka card, and they had somebody else. I forgot who the positional hero was, actually. But I thought when Gronk came out, they had Shannon Sharp. They also had him come out too, an Easter card that a lot of people liked. But this was, as far as I'm concerned, was the best tight end last year, and it did play similar to Domination Gronkowski. All right, so there we go. There's receiving cores compared, and let's go on to the backfield. So Bo Jackson, this was a late mobile master, and I was not able to get the mobile master version of Barry Sanders, so I had to go with Bo. But you can see 99 speed, 96 strength, 101 acceleration, 94 catch without catch boosters on the team, 99 carry, 102 trucking. So this is a great card, and would be a great card this year as well. Very fast, very strong, great catching numbers. Mobile Masters version of Brady, and 78 speed. Anything above 50 is always a joke with Brady, but you know, it's, what can you say? It's a video game. But the throw power and accuracies are very much like the positional hero version this year. Very good. 100 plus in all throwing areas. So it was a pretty good card, and I did like playing as a pocket quarterback, so I was just fine with him. Although I didn't get to use him for long. He was one of the later mobile masters. And Thanksgiving Berry from last year. So I wish I had Thanksgiving Berry from this year, just so I could compare them. Not even besides the boost, which it was what, +2 agility, +2 awareness for that Thanksgiving card this year. But this was the card last year. So 95 speed, which isn't great. That might be pretty close to what it is this year. 84 strength, which is a little bit better. 96 acceleration, which is too low for Barry. He was unbelievably quick off the line. Catch was low, 77, so pretty close to the Thanksgiving card this year. 95 carry, 90 elusiveness. I could never figure this out. 90 elusiveness on a Barry Sanders card. The most elusive running back of all time, hands down. And the number was 90 on that Thanksgiving card. But he had 98 trucking, so go figure. But that was the version of Barry Sanders that I could afford and kept him on my team. And this year, Gold Medal Master. And we can see this is all boosted up. But 99 speed, 83 strength. So with the boost, it brings it close to that Thanksgiving card. 103 agility, 100 spin move, 101 juke, 102 elusiveness, 88 catch, so the catch is better. So this is a better running back all the way around. Probably, though, looking at everything and the catch, and even though the speed's really good, strength, this is probably not as good a card as that Bo card, Mobile Masters card. All right, so Cam Newton kind of went a different direction with quarterback this year and went with the mobile guy just because he's tall. 99 speed at the quarterback position now with Sproles boosting him. 90 strength, 6'6". Throw accuracies are not as good, and it does show up. It makes a difference, especially in all Madden. I get some pretty bad throws from this guy at some points, but I think you do with all players on all Madden. That's just how the way it goes. So, but really different type of concept I went for. Mobile quarterback this year, and I do enjoy that. I don't think. I think running around is a little bit better than being a pocket passer. I've definitely been able to extend plays, and I've improved since I've gotten Cam. All right, and on to the Tier 7. Remember that, guys? Tier 7 players. We got this guy in, I think it was late January when we got Emmett. But you look at this card now, it still holds up pretty well. Still on a lot of people's teams and for the rest of the year. 99 speed now with Sproles, 91 strength. Pretty agile. Catch with boosts isn't bad. These guys and Barry don't catch it very well. They really don't. I'm kind of wondering if a guy like Dickerson or one of those bigger running backs might catch it better than these guys. Neither of these guys are really solid receivers, I would say, at all. But he's been a good player all year, and it was certainly a great achievement to get him. So we're done with the offense, and this is, again, long video, and feel free to not watch whenever you want, but I think it's interesting to compare last year to this year. So let's go on to corners and secondary in general. And so here we go, Richard Sherman. And the reason I put this guy at CB1, even though Deion's cover stats are probably a little bit better, is because this guy's stats are also pretty good. Play recognition to 96 to 100. How much of a difference does it make? 101 jump at 6'3". So pretty good card. Hasn't showed up a lot in film, but I haven't been playing a lot of head-to-head lately. And let's go on to corners, and then we'll do the safeties. So GT1 Deion and 98 jump versus 100 jump on the set-based Ultimate Legend version of the card. But I still think this card is good enough. I think it's cool. The GTs are a little bit more rare, and he does tackle. He is the weird Deion that can actually tackle. So that's why I still like the card. And moving to nickel, and this was a place last year where you buried boosters, nickel and dime. And here at nickel, I've got DRC. I've decided to keep him in and get +4 speed. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get enough players to really increase my defensive overall much more than it already is. So I'll just go with the boost, and the player that I already have, I believe, is what I'm going to be doing, I think. DRC hasn't showed up much in film. He didn't show up much in film when he was a corner 2. So I think he's more of a boost, strictly a boost type of player. But he's still there on the team. Let's go on to safeties. And still, I cannot believe all rookie started 3 months ago. That seems less time than that. But now I've been running Dawkins for 3 months, and Dawkins has been good. I've played quite a few season games, and at free safety, he shows up a lot, gets a lot of picks, like Ed Reed, signature version used to get for me. He shows up in game film of head-to-head. He's a really, really good player. He's inexpensive. Yeah, there are a lot of 99 safeties better than him. Excuse me. The GT, Cam Chancellor, Sean Taylor, Ronnie Lott cards are all a lot better, but they're definitely out of my range and out of a lot of people's range. So this is a really, really good card. And with Sproles, once again, he boosts up nice to 99 speed, which is pretty good. Play recognition is high, hit power is high. Zone's pretty good. Man's a little weak, but like it to be a little bit higher, but I think that's all I'm going to be able to afford for the year. At the other safety, Ronnie Lott. So, 99 speed, coverages are a little bit better. The zone's an almost perfect, well, perfect 99 unless you count the 101 of the Sean Taylor GT card. Man's pretty respectable. 101 hit power is decent. 93 play recognition is also decent. Good card. I would put this in Dawkins. I'd put this one a little bit ahead of the Dawkins card. He has showed up in film, but it's really hard to defend Gronk, and definitely on pro settings. He doesn't show up much, but in Hall of Fame head-to-head or in our all Madden League Championship drives, he does show up. He's pretty good. On the dime, where we have stuck Silver Medal Master Cam Chancellor, which is the hardest set that I've ever done in this game. I think a lot of people would agree with me. It's absolutely insane. I don't know what they'll do next year, but I assume that they'll make the player better. I hope they make the player better, because if I see this type of thing next year, I might just go the other way, because it was 2 weeks where I could have made coins doing something else or doing something else with my time period. This set was very labor intensive, time intensive, and you look at the stats now, they're okay. They're not great. Hasn't showed up a lot in film. In the dime he goes. So let's go to last year now. Back to the trophy room and onto the defense. Corner one of the later mobile masters was Cromartie here. And stats are pretty good. 100 man, 99 speed, 95 play recognition. But there are, let's see, 100 man, 99 speed, 99 jump is really good. But both Sherman and GT1 Dion are better than my corner one from last year. And kind of an interesting card. Again, this is another one along with Rice that they redid the card for a mobile master and had two 99 versions of the same guy, which is kind of silly. I'm glad they didn't do that this year. I think it's kind of a waste, but this was a really good card. Hit power, I believe, was around 90, so not as high as some of the cards this year, and obviously no boost. One of the last legends to come out right before the Super Bowl, I believe. And you could see the stats, so strength is weaker than any of the NTL cards this year. The man is higher, though. The man coverage was really low on those cards this year. 99 zone, 97 play recognition. This was a good enough card. It was probably the best corner in the game for most of the year. Last year was the best card, the most coveted corner card to have for a lot of the year, and I just kept him till the end. Alright, so last year our domination card was Richard Sherman with the huge +5 awareness boost. It was a big deal last year to get this card, and it was the type of thing too, much like domination this year. If you didn't get it by the time they switched over to Gauntlet, it was very difficult to get this card. It was a good corner. This was a good corner for a lot of the year. You could kind of see the stats though. So my GT version of Sherm is definitely better than this card, but did have the +5 awareness boost, so pretty cool. And onto the dime, and our Gauntlet player last year, Cam Chancellor. So slow, not really strong. So we could say here that this card was not as good as a lot of safeties this year. But keep in mind again, the Gauntlet card, just like Watt this year, a lot of defensive ends are better, even though he's got a boost. Well, this guy's got a speed boost and a coin boost, yay. But the stats, none of them are really good. And I actually sat down and played the tutorial, trying guys at different positions, and just watched players play defense in the tutorial. And this guy definitely was the weakest link, and that's why I stuck him in the dime by the end of the year. And the reason why at free safety here, I had running a lot, and last year I played an opposite system. Normally, common sense would dictate to you that Rod Woodson would play free safety and Lott would play strong. What I ended up doing was putting Lott, the heavy hitter rather, in at free safety, and he would lay the licks and he'd play well, and not as many people threw his direction. Good numbers all the way around. Probably not as good, though, you'll notice, as the Ultimate Legend this year, but this card was really, really different. And the only cards that are like it this year are really like the Ed Reed cards. There's not a lot of cards at the safety position with 97 man and 99 zone coverage. Still 93 hit power, not real strong. Free safety, probably. But this guy would make plays on Gronk. And I forget what the jump number is. That probably has something to do with it. But it was a really good card for defending Gronk, I thought. So that's why I kept him in there. So that's that. Now, all in one, let's do linebackers. So outside linebacker, here's the Brooks card from last year, 94 speed. That's boosted by Chancellor. Pretty strong. Pretty good awareness. You'll notice that a lot of people aren't boosting to 99 on the squad, though. Good tackle. Great coverages. Pretty good hit power. So the card this year, and we're going to go through this in a second and just confirm this, but the coverages are not as good as this card this year. Keeping in mind there is a boss version of the card, but with boosters it does boost up to be quicker, stronger, and tackles, probably a lot of the other stats are probably pretty close to the Brooks card this year. And here's Lambert, and as you can see, this was a great card last year, both versions. The Frozen version was awesome for a lot of the year, and this was just the upgrade. But pretty good stats. Coverage stats are pretty close to what Ultimate Legend Ray Lewis is. But good stats all around. Not nearly as quick, though. Not as fast. But pretty good card in general. Positional heroes, Jamie Collins. Really good coverages. Almost as good as Brooks. Not quite as strong, but pretty good card all in all. And then Jack Ham. And one thing that I noticed when I got this card on my team last year, and I played him at right outside linebacker, and I played Brooks at left. I kind of put this guy where Von Miller is this year. And the reason I did that is you want one guy who's a better pass rusher as one of the outside linebackers, I think, in a 4-3. And what I liked about this guy is that he can cover pretty good. 90 zone is not bad for a linebacker. But this guy, once I put him in, it made a noticeable difference against the run. He's a great run stopper, this guy. And so that was one of the mobile masters that came out maybe midway in the year, but he stayed on my team all the way last year. So let's go on. And I know this is a long video, but we're going to do it. So this year, we've got Von Miller at that right outside linebacker, and faster, stronger, Coverages are not as good. More of a pure pass rusher slash run stopper, but a really, really good card. Middle linebacker. So now we've got Lewis with all kinds of speed at middle linebacker. I have noticed in season games, which I assume would correlate to head and league play. This guy is a playmaker, a middle linebacker, athletic, jumps up and gets balls. Really, really good at middle linebacker from what I've seen so far. And we can see the stats here. Pretty close or better to Lambert. Definitely faster, stronger, better acceleration. So really, really good card. And here at the 3-4, a positional hero. And Barr has been good from the time he came out. And people, myself included, wondered about the 87 play recognition. That's the biggest knock on the card. But simply put, even though play recognition's a little low and the coverages don't appear to be the greatest, the guy is fast, strong, can jump, and he's tall. He's 6'5". So I still think that in some ways, this is probably a better coverage linebacker than like a Brooks would be against Gronk. Brooks is 6 foot tall going against somebody who's 6'7". Unless he jumps out of the building, he's just not going to contest much with the bigger, stronger Gronk. It's just not going to happen. So this guy has been pretty good all year, and there was rumored to be a GT version of him. I was waiting for it, and apparently it didn't come out. But pretty good card, and he might stay at the 3-4 at the end till the end of the year. And here's the Brooks card for this year. So with all the boosters, faster, coverages aren't quite as good, but hit power, faster, stronger. Really, really good card. And that's the set-based version, not even the boss. So, on to the defensive line. And defensive end, one, and again, I would like to have one finesse guy, one power guy, and a 4-3. I think that's a really good way to go. And this would be the place where I'd put the finesse guy. But Clowney is 99 speed, 99 strength, 102 hit power, 98 block shed. Some of the bosses now have higher block shed, but that's still a really good card, and I don't foresee replacing Clowney here. Mean Joe Green, and again, defensive tackles, just not the sexiest position. And I would consider replacing this guy with the Ultimate Legend version of him. Agility boost isn't very important, but we could see the block shed. Power moves are pretty good. Tackle solid, boosted up by Watt. And here's Short. Short I would consider replacing, and the reason why is if I wanted to try to chase along with overall 99 awareness, he would have to go away off the team in order for that to happen. Hit power's not really high. Block shed's good. Pretty solid card as a whole, not great. Any of the replacements, though, if you replace Mean Joe Green with another version of Mean Joe Green, you still need another defensive tackle. The Gilbert Brown card came out earlier in the year. I'm not sure if the Movers defensive end, I forgot who they made the mover. Was it McCoy or was that? In any case, there's 2 new 99 defensive tackles that have come out since then as part of Movers and 4th of July. I consider replacing Short with one of those cards. Here's the Watt card. If I had the boss version, I'd replace him right now. That's a great card. This card has been, it's okay. Looks better boosted with +4 speed. Not a bad card. And let's go on and cover last year. So back in. And we could see quite a different scheme last year. So here is a finesse defensive end. And speed and strength are not as good as Clowney. Acceleration's really good. Tackle's good enough. Hit power is not too high, at least by this year's standards. But that was, I believe, one of the last positional heroes to come out. And then at the other side, Julius Peppers, who only got the best card I believe he got was that flashback card that was good for a long, long time with the +1 acceleration. But here's the Mobile Masters card. Last year was one of the later Mobile Masters. And pretty fast, pretty strong. And again, so I had two defensive ends that were finesse defensive ends last year. But hit power's pretty good stats altogether. At the main defensive tackle, Mean Joe Green. And we could see kind of the stats and how they look. This is one of the earlier Mobile Masters, so power moves are good, not great. Nothing's great about the card. Speed is reasonable for defensive tackle, and he's strong. That's about it. And here's McCoy. A lot of guys stronger than this guy this year and better power moves and better players in general. So I guess you could say, I would say, that this year defensive line players have been better. So I guess we won't bother. Well, here, we'll do special teams. Everybody knows what's going on this year with our choices. But our two positional heroes, which was kind of like a two-pack, you get both of them at the same time. Not that it really matters. But there they are. And then these were the best kick returners, the most boostable you could get last year. And I believe they were 95s or 96s. Both Percy Harvin. So this was as good as it gets. No boost, no nothing. And these were as good as kick returners got last year. So that was it. So let's go on. So kick returners were worse last year. Kickers, who the hell cares? On defensive line, I'd say this year linebackers are more physical, and some stats are worse than these guys. But they're definitely faster this year, linebackers. In terms of secondary, they're better this year. There are a bunch of safeties and corners that are better than these guys, and these were among the best last year. Although I didn't have all of them. I didn't have the better version of NTL. Defensive line was worse last year. And offensive line was better last year in terms of the stats. Faster and better blocking stats. But wide receivers are better this year. And in terms of the backfield, it appears to be pretty close. But there's more choices. And probably quarterbacks and running backs are better this year than they were last year. Although when you look at that card, that stacks up pretty well considering there's not a lot of strength boosters. Other thing you got to talk about, of course, is the boosters because people like them so much. And here we go. So we had Domination Sherman with +5 awareness, and we had Gauntlet Cam with +1 speed on the team last year. This year we've got Frederick boosting awareness, OBJ with his stupid massive boost of catch and awareness, another catch boost from Andre, double boost from Sanders of acceleration and ball carrier vision, awareness boost from Mamet, Strength boost from Gronk. So we've already got how many boosters? One. Be nice to not actually click on one, two, three, four, five, six boosters on offense. And a lot of boosters have gone. Now on defense, my team, I've got one, two, three, four boosters, all defensive line and the positions in the secondary, which aren't on the field a lot of times, nickel and dime. So a lot of boosters, and I expect them to do the same thing next year. And we even got a booster on the special teams. Now, last year, I should mention there was a John Ryan silver punter card that people like to play. And here's was the boost. First of all, it's a punter, so besides overall, who cares? It boosted +2 awareness for -1 kick power. It was a no-brainer game changer to take. Pretty cheap card. Actually, it was a lot more. It was probably the most expensive silver in the game because of that. But that's how you had to boost things last year. This year, boosts are absolutely stupid. And look at the Sproles card, which I got in about 2 hours of work. And to get any speed boost last year, I had to do the Gauntlet event and get Cam. And he boosted +1 speed, as opposed to this guy who boosts the two most important things in the game, I would say, awareness and speed. So that's really it, and that is a very long video, and if you've sat through it, I appreciate it. Just wanted to kind of compare those things. I know it took a lot of time, but I thought it was worthwhile to try to do that. I don't know if anybody has sat down and do that. I haven't seen it. So thanks for watching, guys. If there's anything you want to see, let me know.